So let's go to Chief National Security Correspondent Jennifer Griffin. She is live at the Pentagon. Good morning, Jennifer.
Good morning, Dana. We expect to hear from Defense Secretary Hegseth in the briefing room sometime within the next hour. We just received a recorded statement from him. Defense Secretary Hegseth said that this was a required annual proficiency training flight. The Army pilots are required to do an annual night evaluation. The video was obtained by Lucas Tomlinson of Fox News. Family notifications have begun, we're told. We began speaking with Army officials shortly after the crash at 9 p.m. last night. That's when we learned that an Army Black Hawk helicopter was involved in the crash and 3 soldiers were on board. They were on a training mission. Officials say there was no sign of terrorism or criminality. Officials say one of the soldiers on board the military helicopter has been recovered. These were experienced Army pilots, we're told. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz spoke from the White House this morning and raised an important issue, suggesting one of the questions that will be asked: were the pilots using night vision at the time of the crash?
This was a routine training flight. As you know, a Black Hawk typically has 2 pilots. In this case, it was, and I can tell you it was an officer and a warrant officer. They tend to have a lot of experience. And then you have an enlisted crew chief in the back.
We have learned that there was night vision capability on board the aircraft. Again, whether the pilots were using it at the time, we don't know. There was nothing unusual about the flight paths of either aircraft, we're told. There are designated corridors for these military helicopters in the D.C. area. The Black Hawk helicopter took off from Fort Belvoir, Virginia, which is where these helicopters are based, about 14 miles outside Washington, D.C. You often see military aircraft flying in and around the Pentagon, ferrying senior military officials or practicing for routine missions in the skies above the Capitol. The Army issued the following statement, quote, "While performing a training mission, a United States Army UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter from Bravo Company, 12th Aviation Battalion, Davison Army Airfield, Fort Belvoir, Virginia, collided in midair with an American Airlines Bombardier CRJ-700 regional jet flight 5342 last night at Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. This was a standard UH-60 Black Hawk, a 4-blade, twin-engine, medium-lift utility military helicopter manufactured by Sikorsky. It can carry up to 15 people, including 2 pilots, 2 crew chiefs, and 2 rescue specialists." Defense Secretary Hegseth, again, we expect to hear from him within the next hour. We also have a recorded statement that he made just moments ago. Here it is.
It was an annual proficiency training flight. We do know on our side who was involved. It was a fairly experienced crew and that was doing a required annual night evaluation.
I can tell you, as I drove across the Potomac River this morning, Dana, and walked toward the Pentagon, it was an eerie sight. Not a single flight in the air. This is normally a very busy corridor with military helicopters and commercial aircraft flying down the Potomac past the Pentagon, circling above the Pentagon. The last time it was this quiet in the skies over Washington, D.C. was after 9/11.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.